everyone. So Crawford wasn't able to make a video this week, so I figured I'd do a couple laps and kind of give you a good guide around Long Beach. So I'll just jump right in. First thing, if you're setting up a quali lap, you want to make sure to get a good run out of the hairpin. You can run it wide and send it, or just make sure not to spin the tires. But anyway, so here we go. First lap, just going down the front stretch, across the finish line. Using the longer gears for the speed, so you're there. Long run forward. All right, here. So I usually brake right about 4 at the latest, or a little bit earlier, depending on the track grip. If you're saving fuel, you can roll off here at the 500, and then kind of roll onto the brakes right at the 4. So here, jump on the brakes, hold it, downshift late, get a good run. You can take a little bit more of the curb right over here. It's not necessarily faster because you will kind of bounce off a little bit, but good line, you'll have your tires right about here where it starts to get steep. So I'm a little wide here, but come out of turn 1. What you really want to do, you want to hug this wall, turn to the right. That'll set you up better for the entrance to the fountain. If you don't hug this wall, you'll end up somewhere over here, and then you have a shallow turn in the fountain, and you can't carry the speed through that you want. So second gear, in here, downshift first, very gentle, try not to slide. You can see me putting down some tire marks right here. You don't necessarily want to do that. But out of the fountain first, up into second, into the next turn. My brake marker here, I usually use the start of this white banner. So I'll actually brake a little bit before that. Actually, you can see there's a line here. I still use the banner as reference, but I'll brake somewhere between here. Again, that's for depending on the track grip. And this curve here, same with turn 1. You can get all over this curve. You can run it, kind of avoid the steep part. I'm somewhere in the middle here. Same thing. You're going to bounce off it and lose a little bit of speed, or you're going to run wide and lose a little bit of speed. So it's going to be about the same. Carry on into this next turn. So for reference, I use the back of this line. If I'm behind someone, I'll try and use this black banner. I usually start to get off throttle about a car length before, half car length to a car length before. The reason being is I like to take this very shallow line. So you can see if I go to rear chase, my right sides are actually completely inside that outer line of curbing. Take a further look. Yeah, so tires inside that curbing, left sides are inside the other curbing. That gives you're still going to be bumpy, and you can't just mash the throttle. But at least neither of the tires are going to be on the curbing as you go through. So if we go back a little bit, look at this in slow motion. Without the sun. Try not to blind you all. So I turn in, kind of hit this first red curve right there, and then your tire tracks are going to go around that inside set of curbs. And that just sets you up. You can, because you're taking a straighter line, and you're also not as bumpy as if your right sides were on that outside set of curbing. You just end up with a smoother, straighter run as you get on the throttle there. Anyways, off into this next turn. My brake marker here is going to be 200. So I can, again, I'll brake as late as right at the 2, or a little bit before that. If you're saving fuel, you can, again, same thing, kind of let off at the 3, roll onto the brake at the 2. Right there, hard, down in the second. Carry through the turn. You can really hit it right. You're going to track out all the way to this wall. And you pretty much just carry a long, smooth arc out of that corner to that wall, and then back over here to where you start to see the next time. Here, this one's a little bit earlier. It can be deceiving. You want to brake at the 2 because you braked at the 2 at the last one. I usually brake in about a car length earlier than the 2 relative to where I did at the previous turn. Again, based on track grip. Same thing. If you're saving fuel, roll out the 3. Brake at the 2. This corner is a bit confusing. I'll go in the car here to show you. Back here, you see this wall. You're like, oh, apex. You start to shoot for it. You see, actually, the wall actually starts going straight here. So if you aim for this kind of corner right here as an apex, you're going to hit the wall here. If you hit the wall here, you're going to bounce into this wall, which has a tire pack that kind of sticks out. And then the person behind you is going to run into you, and you're going to spin around. And then all this is going to be blocked, and it's going to be a mess. So remember, not apex. This isn't the apex. This corner is the apex you want to do. Show you what that looks like. So you can get a little bit closer. There's a nice little wall, straight wall here. You want to get your car about parallel to that, and as close as you can get to this wall without hitting it, of course. And long, straight. Make sure to get a good run. Don't spin the tires. Long and good. Up in the third, up in the fourth. Here's a bit tricky. So if you're fuel saving, I'll usually lift off at the 5. And then just for stability, sometimes I'll lift off the throttle between the 4 and the 450 right here. And that just kind of helps transfer the weight a little bit better. So when you stab the brake at the 350 to the 400, you're not going to lock it up and you're not going to be drifting through this next corner. But on a good run with fresh tires and good track grip, I brake about the 375, 350 is about my reference marker for that. If you're braking at the 3, it's going to be way too late. And again, similar to that other right-hand turn, you can get on these curves. So hit it about in the middle, and then you end up with your tires on either side of this curve here. And that's just going to help you, again, set up smoother exit. You also want to stay to the right here. You don't necessarily want to track out all the way to this wall over here. Again, same thing. You're setting up this turn, and you want to be able to get tight on this turn. These curves are similar. You can get on them. I usually try and get a bit more aggressive to get these left sides to the left of these curves. Didn't quite get it there, but this shows you about what you do. Then you come in here. The end of this darker black pavement right here. Brake about there, or when the back of your car is kind of crossing that, or the center of the car, somewhere in there. Get on the brakes. You want to be over here to the left. So I could have been further here, and that's just an issue if you're carrying too much speed out of the first apex, or you hit these curves wrong. You're going to slide out to the right here. And you're either going to have to slow way down or take a suboptimal line into the hairpin. But through the hairpin, first gear. Try not to slide the tires. I usually do it most times, but I'm trying not to. I take a bit of a late apex. And your biggest thing, you just want to not clip this wall, because there's a good chance if you're clipping this and you get on the throttle, you're just going to spin out. But hold it tight, kind of right here, the end of this red banner with your car. And that should give you a good run down the front stretch. Let me just take you back, and I'll give you an in-car of the lap. Now I'll leave this up for inputs. that's a lap at Long Beach. I used the generated weather from the session. Set it to 5 hours after session start, which should be about race time. I think trap temp was about 71. Looks to be minimal usage, and this is using the Beer Race 3.49 setup straight out of the box, but with I was using 46% brake bias here. 48 to 50 is probably going to be good for most people. All right, thank you. See you tonight.